Doctor Strange still carries the Eye of Agamotto in Spider-Man No Way Home, which doesn't have the Time Stone anymore as it was destroyed by Thanos in Avengers Endgame. However, when Strange takes Peter around the mirror dimension, he uses the eye when he changes the scene of the dimension, and the eye is seen to be glowing orange instead of green, showing us that he repurposed the Eye of Agamotto after he lost the Time Stone to help him cast more powerful spells just like any other relic. Welcome to my breakdown of the Spider-Man No Way Home mirror dimension battle, where I show you 7 hidden details that you missed in this scene. You've already seen the first one, so let's get on with the next, since you'll find that this whole battle could have been avoided if Strange had learned to get a grip. Quite literally, because every time Strange has this relic called the Machina de Cadavis, he always keeps it floating next to him, which allows Peter to steal it so easily once, twice, and even 3 times. Even the final spell could have been avoided if Doctor Strange just held on to it, rather than letting it be so easy for Green Goblin to steal. So now that that is out of the way, let's talk about this scene when Strange knocks Peter into his astral form. Now this is when the mind is separated from the physical body, and because the mind works a lot faster than our physical self, our thoughts processed is almost in an instant, which is why when you are in your astral form, you experience everything in the time your thoughts takes to process, and the physical world continues a lot slower because of this. Why did I tell you that? Well, because 1, this is visually represented with the leaves around Peter moving in slow motion, but also because we can see Peter's spidey sense working in his astral form, and his spidey sense allows him to process thoughts much faster than a normal human, which is why we can see a visual representation of this in this scene, as even in his astral form, he processes information just as quickly, which also makes him able to still control his physical form. And then when he goes back into his physical self, everything goes back into normal speed, including the sounds. I mean, you've got to respect the attention to detail here. Before Peter gets tossed into the mirror dimension next to Strange, we see this shop window with a lot of Spider-Man related magazines, and this one in particular shows Liz Allen talking about the Spider-Man situation, with the main text reading Liz Allen's intimate past with Peter Parker, followed by the quote from Liz saying Peter is a liar. Now this could be because Spider-Man took down her dad, which was Vulture, and practically ruined her life, which meant when Peter rejects that he didn't kill Mysterio, Liz automatically argues against Peter because of her past. Nearing the end of the battle, Peter points out that the mirror dimension is just geometry, specifically the Archimedes spiral. And if you pay attention to anything that spins around or in a circular shape, they're all in an Archimedes spiral. Also notice how Peter isn't spooked by the fact of the mirror dimension, he just asks, what is this place? Which is because this whole mirror dimension concept isn't actually new to him, as he has already gone through the same experience in Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio's illusions. And the fact that it is obvious that you are in the mirror dimension makes it much more reassuring for him compared to Mysterio's illusions, which felt real and unpredictable. Doctor Strange tells Peter that this is the mirror dimension where I am in control, and he emphasizes that he is in control of Peter after Peter got in control of the whole astral projection when Strange thought that he was in control. And then later on the train, Peter gets trapped in a portal loop, and he does the same thing he accidentally did to himself earlier in the battle when he webbed himself up, whereas this time he does it intentionally with both of his web shooters to catch the cape, and he does all that in literally a split second. So that is pretty much all I've been able to find in the scene with the footage I have, but the breakdown continues in this video here, where I show you everything you missed in the final swing of Spider-Man No Way Home. The Machina Cadavis. The Machina Cadavis. The Machina Cadavis. Well, where'd the D coming from? The Machina Cadavis. Hey! Finally!